This is a really special sketchbook day because about a year ago, a student bought me the sketchbook and it's twice the size. I cut it in half. I did surgery today, so it's twice the size of this. And I want it to be special because the student is special. She's incredible. So I haven't used this paper yet. I'm going to see how it goes. The student's name is Kiana. And she started at our school, like most of the kids, very young. Really showed an incredible amount of talent. But I can project students 10, 15 years in the future. I've just been doing this a long time. And also working in sales, you find yourself talking to different departments differently. And, when you're talking to a chief executive officer, you talk to them like a chief executive officer. What are your plans for next year? What are you thinking? What are you planning on doing? Chief financial officer, how are the numbers? Are you making your numbers? Research and development, more on the art side. Engineering, more on the technical side. People out in the plant. I don't want to sound like crazy, but there's a lot of, hey, yo, how you doing? What the f? Because that's more my world. Like hanging with the guys, hanging with the gals. So when I talk to Kiana, I talk to her like she's going to be a creative director, and her talent's off the charts. She also, we knew right away she'd have the ability to teach, and she's a fantastic teacher. So I'm going to dedicate, hopefully this painting works out well, to not only a fantastic student, an amazing teacher, and a colleague, and also a friend. And she's only 15, so this is for her. So we dedicate this to her. What I'm going to do is something really different. This is a book. It's called the Portraits in Charcoal from Sargent. It's really a cool book. So what I'm going to do is choose a painting, a charcoal sketch from here. I want to get rid of the glare, so I'm going to put it up at an angle. And but I'm going to do it in color. Oh, I got all this glare. Can you guys still see this, you guys? Oh, probably not. So here's the image. Okay. So I have these lights on over here, so I have some glare. And I'm going to use water brushes just because I want it to be a sketch. So here's the sketchbook. And what I did was I did a little surgery and I took some leather and put it in this really cool book. So there we go. Let's see if this works. Well, it gets more glare. Okay, should have figured this out before, but again, we're sketching. Let's do this. Let's go like that. How's that? Does that work for everybody? Yeah, there we go. Okay, without getting any paint in the book, let's see how we do. So I want to go with the shape. Let's turn this light on. Here we go. Okay. So the whole idea of this is that just a day in a studio. I'm waiting for my next, what we call caseload, to come in. So as a professional artist, it's always hurry up and wait. So I have time right now, so I'm trying to get some. It's gonna be me time, get the sketch. But I'm doing it with you. Also, I don't usually, when I'm sketching, I'm not talking to anybody unless I'm on the phone. So I get to talk to you guys. Hopefully, you'll have questions. And you'll just email them to Corey. And then I could answer your questions while I'm drawing. I had kids in class last night and they're real quiet. And when I work, I'm really quiet. So nobody spoke. You could, it was like you can hear a pin drop in there. For the eyes, a little bit of an angle. The center line's really close, which is the reason why I chose it. It's kind of fun. So I like to think of this part, you know, the other eye right there, the far eye is like a slice of pizza, piece of pie, and you're pulling it out. And that will take you to the nose. So if we draw, you can see this, yeah. If we draw this piece of pie right here, a slice of pizza, it'll give you the angle of the nose. Just working negative shape. Negative shape is as important as positive shape. Okay, we have an angle here. So at that angle, this angle, they should all be the same. When I get to the end of this plane, you know, this part, the eyebrow, that's where the head turns. I don't have any silly jokes. This comes down. Usually I go with green. So tear duct lines up with the nostril. When I hit these marks, students usually ask, I'm hitting landmarks. So here I'll be hitting the side plane of the orbit of the eye. And that'll get me to the temporalis, which is a side plane, temporal. The landmarks. All right, we got that. Coming on down. We slide on into the upper lip. So the bottom right there, there's your philtrum, right there, the lip. It's going to be on the midline. How do you learn all this stuff? It's in my books. Just buy the book, trace it, and then trace in the magazines, and then draw, and then watch these, and then write your questions to Corey, and then we'll answer the questions. And then for the software, some prepubescent little punk is going to teach it to you on YouTube. So we call it at the studio, prepubescent punk. So you have a question on software or anything technical, just go to YouTube and do a search. Some kid with it'll be like 9 years old, and they're going to tell you exactly what to do. It's mind-boggling. I mean, more than the pros. It just blows my mind. And I make fun of them, but I love them. You know, it's like, thank you. Because, you know, you're taking a class, an online class, and they don't tell you. I mean, you don't know. You got, maybe it's just how the kids think, you know, they're so incredible. I mean, I got them at my school. They're so smart. I would say the future from right now, the 10-year-olds, that generation, it's going to be amazing. They're going to be just incredible. We have a good group coming up. And then my current kids that are just leaving to go to college. They're pretty incredible. We have kids at every major power. We're at USC, 3 at USC. Ringling, you know, God, going to Northridge, go Northridge. Fullerton, go Fullerton. And the paper's taking the paint really well, so it was worth the wait, Kiana. So this book will replace the other one, because the other one I got in Amsterdam. It's a tough drive. So kids wondered, like, where'd you guys go? Because we just left. And told them that I had to go meet with Santa Claus, because it was they were looking for someone who could do kind of sit on with him. He had an event that year. He's got an event. Actually, he's got an event coming up. So I was looking for somebody who can play the role and be the Santa Claus. Get out there. And the first thing they were searching for was somebody who can put on weight pretty quickly. When they did the search, I came up really fast. So I was very honored. And, I had to explain to them that it's difficult to hide a body like mine because it's so flawless. And he got it because Santa's got the same thing, So we got to be able to go from like total perfection to big, and then, and then you'd be able to go back, So, and then they were also looking for somebody who had no sense of direction, and being, married as long as I have, I just turn where I'm told to turn, turn here, turn here, turn here. So that's good, because that's how the reindeers like to work. You don't have a lot of time, because you got a lot of houses you got to get to in one night. So they don't want somebody who's going to argue with the reindeers, and I'm not. I'll do as I'm told. So we went and did the interview. I don't know. I did okay. I don't think it was my best. It was all right. And but on the way back, we got a chance to stop in Amsterdam. I fell in love with Amsterdam. It was incredible. And one of the things you can do there is go to Rembrandt's house. I think it was his real house. That's what they said. It's kind of like you can walk through and see how he lived and stuff. It was pretty cool. And in there they had a gift shop, which is always scary for me. Well, it's not scary for me. It's scary for my wife, because I love going to gift shops, especially at museums. That's why I pretty much fund the Getty. And they had this watercolor. I should have bought 2. It was like this, watercolor paper. So this paper, I know where she got it from, so I could always go back and get another one. And it's going to last me a long time, because look, this is just half of it. But to get over to Amsterdam, I got to go back and see Santa. I don't think I got the job, so be a little awkward. So that's cool paper. Let's see. Do I think paper is sexy? Oh yeah. I was a print salesman. I used to tell my customers, this paper is like Godiva chocolate. Okay, so we got that. So we're just looking for where things turn, So you scratch, you rub your nose, or you rub your cheek, itch or something. That's painting. Okay, so we're going to get rid of all the mysteries. We can get into the esoteric duality of rhythms to planes and, you know, telling your artistic story and journey through your brush strokes. Or you can have an itch and just scratch the side of your nose, and where you feel the little flat part, that's a brush stroke. Oh man, see, like that, that's a brush stroke. That's a brush stroke. Just make sure they fall on rhythms, which is in the books. They're in my book. They're broken down one page at a time. It's really going to really get it to you guys. And then the videos, which are free. And if you want to take a class, come take a class. It's real simple. And that'll get you your fundamentals. You'll be able to use that when you're modeling. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, this stuff works. I had a student at a university I was teaching at. It was local. It was Orange County University. And she would not listen. She just wasn't going to listen. And I told you, we got to learn anatomy. I was teaching it. You know, my class really, I was doing all the fundamental classes. Those kids did really well. But she was stubborn. So I did this this assignment where they had to do a report. It was very professor of me. And they had to go search a career. And then they had to do the research and then do a presentation as if they were applying in front of the class. So hers was for modeling. And right there at the mouse factory said anatomy is a prerequisite. And I said, go back, what was that little word right there? And then she read it, and then she turned, I'll never forget, and she put her face into the corner of the room, like between where the walls come together. Thinking, you know, I'm on your side. Well, just listen. But she wouldn't. She was real stubborn. So she knew better. I don't know if she's working, I don't know. But you have to know anatomy if you're going to rig. I know how things move. So when you're learning in the books, when I'm teaching you anatomy, it directly applies right to the rigging. So she doesn't even have anything here, but I'm going to put in that cheekbone, zygomatic process, nasolabial fold right there. So how do we learn the names? They're in the books. How do you pronounce them? That's the different story. I have an app which actually, if you push the button, it'll read it. So that's pretty cool. Just on my phone. I use it occasionally. You will find with the anatomy, though, that people pronounce the names different. The guy that the tapes I have that I purchased, they're unembalmed cadavers, so when they pull on the muscles, everything moves. It's great. But the guy who's doing it has an English accent. So somebody asked me once, did you study anatomy in England? I said, no. They go, you're using the English pronunciation. I said, I don't know. Like I call it the iliacus, and I think it's the iliacus or something. So it doesn't matter. Just know how it moves. So if I have like a dark here, where else can I use it? I can use it under the eyebrow. can use it. That eye's really low. I can use it right there for the pupil. So she has kind of I gave her kind of a look. As it turns, it's going to get a little out of focus. I really like these brushes. Let's see, when you get to college, have the teachers demo for you. It's real important. Words cannot describe. This is a visual thing. So have them demo. And then one thing I always did in the college classroom, I was organizing my images, my photos. I kind of gutted my Dropbox and reloading stuff. And there was photos from the University in Northern California that I worked at. There was like 100 kids in the room. I forget how packed that room was. That was the generation of kids. Boy, that was a long time ago. But those kids were power. Not the end group, had some stuff to work out. But that's the other professors to work with. But you go back 5 years or so, between 5 and 10 years, they were power. So, just fantastic. That was under the guidance of Alice Carter and Courtney Granner, who were biological examples of perfection. So that's a cool gray. So if I put a red top of it here, pop it because it's cool against the warm. One thing that's important when you're practicing, the head drawing, you'll hear me say it a lot. Don't try to do a perfect likeness when you're just practicing head drawing. Just get a really good, solid head. Okay, with a skull, the rhythms, the planes. If you can do that to get to the likeness, as we call an animation, putting it on model, it's not difficult, because then it's just a matter of where you're putting the shape. And if you have your cross contours and you're drawing over, then you'll know where the shapes go. You're just running your finger, visually over the model, or you can measure it and you'll have it. Okay, so, but if you get something that looks like the person, but it's not a good head drawing, it's going to be mushy. That's why I call it Chinese food. See, mushu chicken, mushu pork, mushy drawing. And I say that drawing is Chinese food. So let's have, and it's not going to withstand the test of time. And you're not going to be able to apply it to other areas like modeling and rigging, and you're not going to be able to just put a face down if you're doing concept art and they go add a figure here and have it in my desk, in an hour, let's say. And you got to be able to just put it down. So you want to make sure that you can draw, the figure. There we go. I gotta put an accent in there, but wait. Now here under the mouth, I can put like a cool, it's mostly gonna be water. See, real subtle. The more of these you put in, the older she'll get. The more you close off the shapes, the more cartoony it will be. And the more halftones you put in, the older she will become. Paper feels great. There we go. Okay. Take this really sophisticated brush. Some gouache. That's it. As my favorite ever teacher says, Mr. Vilbu, it takes two people to do a painting. One to do it and one to take it away before you ruin it. So here we go. So we took it from a charcoal to a color painting. All right. We'll see you in a while. Go draw. Bye.